Good morning, everybody. So, I got the house to myself. Was very impromptu. She didn't mention that she was going anywhere until she was basically walking out the door, so I didn't really plan anything. But I did have something I wanted to talk about, and I think it might be better to talk about it while I'm here because I have the opportunity to use a reference if I need to. So, I watch, um, like, World List and, They Will Kill You. They're two, YouTubers that kind of, like, do, lists of things in the world. Like, They Will Kill You does a lot of things like when bartenders go wrong, or when Ubers go wrong, or when, oh, you get the point. It's, they're always doing some sort of list of when something goes wrong. Well, so I get those things to pop up on my computer quite often because I do watch them. I don't watch them all because, like, there's a lot of them I don't really care about, but one came across my list. It was like when grandchildren go wrong, and I was like, well, I gotta watch this one. So, give me 1 second. I decided to come up here. This is my attic to kind of show you what I'm dealing with. So this is how much I kind of got done, right? So this was kind of a wreck, and now it's mediocre. so here's kind of what I got done. I think I like to classify it as about maybe a quarter or a third of the way done. So I got this to pretty much deal with, and all this to deal with. So, one of the problems I have is, unless something is clearly garbage, I don't try to throw it away, because I am concerned with her trying to blame me for breaking it, and I'm not interested in that drama. So most of the stuff that's damaged and should be in the garbage, I just kind of been packing in boxes like this, and then I'm just throwing it in a corner somewhere and to deal with it when she's long gone if I'm still here. So, there's that. This is stuff for, like, antiques or interesting items that could be worth something, and stuff for a yard sale. Over there, I think that is pretty much all Christmas stuff, or arts and crafts. Same with this. I try to keep it pretty separated. Like, I try to keep most of this Christmas stuff here, and most of the arts and crafts stuff here, but the stuff that was already packed in totes, I didn't really want to mess with, other than to move it to a more organized area. So, that's kind of what's been going on here. And this has been probably about 10 hours of work already. So there's a lot to do, a lot to get done, but, you know, without having more boxes or totes, I'm kind of at a standstill. There's only so much I can do, moving stuff from one place to another. You know, I wanna get more totes and literally sort through it. So, yeah, this is kind of like one of the projects I undertook because I talked to my aunt, and she's like, I don't know why you're cleaning that attic, and I'm like, I have no friends, I have no job, I have no car, I basically don't have a life. What the heck am I supposed to do? It's at that time of the season where it's, you know, cutting grass is over, but shoveling snow isn't here yet. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just sit there and stare at a wall? Like, you know, I'm doing this because I think the only selfish part about it is that I get to see some of the really weird stuff that accumulated up here, and some of the stuff's actually, you know, used to be mine. Like, that stuffed bird thing was, like, my favorite stuffed animal when I was a kid. But, yeah, it's kind of cool seeing a lot of the stuff that's, you know, accumulated, and yeah, that's kind of the reason. Anyways, so the video. It was when I don't know if it was grandsons in particular or when grandchildren go wrong, right? So I'm not sure which it was, and I can reference it, but I'm going to try to just do this off the top of my head, because, yeah, top of my head, getting crap all over my hat, I just washed it. Let's get out of here. But, I made a comment before I even watched it. So, usually those lists get pretty bad. They pick, like, the worst of the worst, like, the absolute, you know, most terrible people that have done the absolute most terrible things to make these videos, right? So, before even watching it, I did my comment, and I said, well, you know what, let's just reference it. We can just reference it. Because the person that responded wrote, like, a small, you know, essay on stuff and things. So let's actually just reference it, because that's the whole reason I'm doing this here. So I don't think I'm going to do it word for word, because other people watch, like I said, some family found out my YouTube, you know, slip of the tongue and whatnot. So, I'll just read it, I don't care. So here's what I said, right? I haven't watched this yet, but I feel compelled to say that I am a man that, if asked, is basically a caregiver for my gram. And it is a thankless, terrible occupation, with no future. She collects all the money, I get paid literally next to nothing, aside from a place to live, and maybe like $10 a month if I'm good grannies, and I put B ****, because I don't swear in the comments, because respect for other YouTubers and whatnot. So, for being good old grannies, lackey. So, I resort to scrapping metal and doing odd jobs around town to make any kind of spending money. And my grandmother is bluntly, you know, kind of greedy and manipulative and controlling. And I don't condone violence, but I can wholeheartedly relate to the struggle. Before anyone says I should be getting paid or have some sort of compensation, so I secure a future through, you know, various caregivers, caregiver programs, they want her to sign over her house. And she refuses, leaving me in a situation where I have nothing now, and due to her not having or getting a will, I'll have nothing when it's over. These are facts. So, it's just something to think about. How people are treated in this world, and an elderly person is just a person who had more time to hone their craft. It doesn't mean they're good, fair, or gentle. So that's what I said. You could ignore the greedy, manipulating, controlling part, because I'm not interested in causing an argument. She knows what she is. She knows what she's doing. She doesn't need me to tell her, and we don't really need to discuss it, because, you know, she's done the same thing for 80 years. Why change now? So, now, here's this, right? So, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but this person, you know, wrote a small narrative, and I skimmed over it, right? And it basically says that, you know, I agree with you. Some elderly people are hard to deal with. It sounds like you feel like you're being emotionally abused and undercompensated, and you know, it's best for you to leave as soon as possible, so, you know, you don't end up on one of these lists, I guess, right? So but then it breaks down to it breaks down here somewhere to that I'm condoning or I'm empathizing with these people that do these straight up horrible things to their grandparents, and that I should go get help, right? So, you know, I can see where somebody could possibly think that, but like I said in my reply, if my reply is, I don't know where my reply is. Did my reply not go through? Because that would be kind of sad. Here it is. Okay, so I replied, "Wow, thank you. I'm sorry for your hardships, and I appreciate the insight, but I'm already ahead of you. I hope to have some sort of life as soon as possible, and I intend to leave in this upcoming spring. my situation isn't horrible. It's like she knows how to be just emotionally taxing enough that I'm miserable, but not enough to push me over the edge. And I was like, oh, and you're wrong. I don't feel any emotion towards them, as them being the people, the subjects of this video, whatsoever. I simply explaining my situation and how I can see the ugly side of things. And to be fair, I commented before I even watched the video. Unfortunately, expressing my thoughts in a text format can be read into the wrong way or given emotion where there is none. Long story short is, a perspective... Long story short... Okay. Can't even read my own writing, right? Long story short, it's a perspective, not a cry for help, and for better or for worse, I'm a very stable, logical person. And they haven't replied since then. But what the point of this is that, you know, I commented on this with the pretense of, you know, thinking, you know, I'm giving my personal opinion on a situation on where, you know, not everybody has that Hallmark family. You know, you judge family one of two ways. You judge family through personal experience, or you judge family through the Hollywood glorification. There's not a lot of people that can always see every side of the perspective. Like I said in my last video, I've seen a lot of different lifestyles, and I've seen a lot of people. I've met good old Hallmark granny. You know, I met the Christmas card granny, that version. I met, you know, yeah, well, I met other grannies too, as you know. So what I'm trying to say is, you know, I don't know, like, how do I want to put this? Because my words get twisted, and, you know, I don't want to get the emotion wrong. You know, I wouldn't want anyone, you know, trying to hunt me down and get me help, because I need help, just not that kind of help. What I'm trying to say is, when you read comments, and you're going to have a counter opinion, or you're going to input your own knowledge, read the comment thoroughly and think about it through the eyes of other people. Don't automatically think that because somebody's having a bad experience, you know, they're one straw short of breaking that camel's back and, you know, mowing down a small village of baby bunnies or something, you know. A lot of problems stem in small towns and internet comment sections from people being strongly opinioned, and that's a good thing. Having an opinion is a great thing, because if more people had opinions and more people listened to them, the world might be in a better state. But if you let your mind wander and you put your own emotions or you put your own thoughts behind somebody else's opinion, sometimes it can be misconstrued. So instead of you putting out, you know, this is my situation, and I can understand how people can have ill will towards, you know, a family member. It's not me saying that I'm going to go saw off a shotgun and, you know, go on a rampage. You picking up what I'm putting down? You know, it's me saying that I have that side of perspective, and given the right circumstance, not everybody is as mentally stable as I am. Not everybody is, you know, in that right headspace. So, a lot of the people in the video, after I watched it, were basically people that were, like, hopped up on meth, living in their grandparents' house, and either robbing or, you know, brutally beating or killing them. You know, I don't condone that. I don't condone that. I'm saying I can understand how somebody can push your buttons so far that it can make you feel an intense hatred for either that person, group of people, civilization you live in, because I'm living it. Well, I guess that's it. You know, I want to keep this relatively short. That's kind of what I wanted to say. I was going to talk about this on the trail, but I was like, this way I can literally reference it, you know? I can literally reference it. So I can be as accurate as possible in my speaking, and hopefully somebody picks up this here, you know, okay, so that makes a lot more sense, rather than thinking that I'm about to go, like, postal, because if I do that, I'm not going to YouTube comment about it. I'm a bad jokester. Anyways, yeah, so, you know, my situation, it's the same as when I was growing up with my father. It was a bad situation. This is a bad situation. But there are so many people out there that have so much worse situations. So, as I'm not happy, as I'm not satisfied with where my life's going, I'm not satisfied with how people treat me, I'm not satisfied with how things are progressing. Well, as of late, they've been a little better, but I'm not satisfied with a lot of the things that are going on around me. It doesn't mean that I'm living in a torture chamber, you know, contemplating how I'm going to, you know, go kill the last of the white rhinos in Africa. Yeah, you know, I'm not pondering how I'm going to commit some sort of atrocity. I'm more pondering how I can relieve the pressure from the situation and finally build my life, if that makes sense. Alright, well now it sounds more like I'm just trying to plead an innocent perspective rather than give an informational video. But, you know, it's one thing that the world lacks in a lot of areas is understanding. And the more thorough you are, sometimes it's easier, if somebody's willing to listen, it's easier for them to see and understand said ideas and said perspectives when the most amount of information is given. So, there you go. I feel sophisticated and smart now. I should have been, like, blowing up bubbles out of a pipe and drinking a hot cup of tea or something. I had a glass of scotch and, you know, wearing a monocle. Feel a lot more fancy. Alright. Yeah. I do feel like that was rather intelligent, though. Alright. Later on, guys.